What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the most recent physique update, which is about 3 weeks out from this year's Italy Pro Show from Quinton Beastwood. The one guy whom even the reigning Olympia champion Samson Dauda sees as the one with the most amount of potential that we have seen in the recent past in the open bodybuilding. And many people out there, including some of the top pros, they have this opinion that he's the one who's gonna rise to the top in the upcoming years. But Quinton is done waiting around. He doesn't want that anymore. He is simply tired of getting second and third place. And he's coming to this upcoming Italy Pro, probably the whole European tour, with the sole intention of winning his first pro show and getting his first ever Olympia qualification.
This is just, I'm coming to win. I'm not coming for fun. I'm not coming for the pizza, for the pasta. I'm not coming to shake hands and hug. I'm coming to win.
So the question is, if he in fact qualifies for the biggest show of the year, will he be a factor at this year's Mr. Olympia? Well, I'm gonna say probably not. Because he still needs more size, more mass, more thickness, more density, and that too all over his physique. But for a guy who almost quit bodybuilding last year after the New York Pro, after which he got so much backlash, to this guy that we saw this year, who turned heads at Tampa Pro and Texas Pro with his amazing package, and he showcased what his real potential can be. Quinton has 100% came a long way. Now people often say, or they ask, what does he need to be in the league of Samson Dauda or Andrew Jaged? Well, in my opinion, there is really nothing he can do about that. That is gonna magically transform him into a top tier Olympian in a matter of just 1 year. The fact is, people need to understand that Samson Dauda is almost 40 years old, and same is the case with Andrew Jaged, and Quinton is just 31 years old. So Samson has 10 years over Quinton Beastwood, and all Quinton needs to do is to keep his head down, just put more time and effort into it, and keep on adding more muscle, more mass all over his physique, keep improving, and that is exactly what we're seeing, him steadily moving up. And Quinton is gonna be the one to watch out for in the upcoming years. But for now, he's definitely the one to watch out for at this upcoming European tour. And he did mention what different he's gonna do in these next 3 weeks in order to improve, in order to win these upcoming shows. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So looking at some of the most recent physique updates from Logan Franklin, about 3 weeks out of his next show, which is gonna be Florida Pro, and how he has that see-through skin with so much quality that actually makes you believe that he will be among one of the most shredded guys and one of the most ripped guys at this upcoming Mr. Olympia in classic physique. So he is going to win this show very soon, and for a top tier athlete, I don't think it's gonna be any kind of problem for him. He's gonna win that show quite comprehensively. So his personal expectations for this year's Mr. Olympia that we all know are very high, and many would say that a top 3 finish, that is kind of an unrealistic goal, as the last time Logan placed top 10 at the Olympia stage, it was 5 years back when Logan made his classic physique Olympia debut, and the competition at that time, that wasn't as stacked. We did not have Urs, Ramon, even Mike Sommerfeld, and all these young guys that we're seeing now, like Niall Darwin, Matthias Menegate, Josema Beast. But that being said, Logan's physique has also improved tremendously since that time, especially in the past 1 year. And we did see a glimpse of his brilliance at the Arnold, Ohio this year, where he did beat guys like Michael the Bull, Vasily Vezers, Matt Grego, and even the king of classic physique Chris Bumstead said that he was the most classic looking man, even standing next to a guy like Mike Sommerfeld. So after this year's Arnold, all the judges said that he needs a bigger and a wider back. Now his back isn't gonna be the best back on this upcoming Mr. Olympia, but it's gonna be 100% improved compared to what we saw at this year's Arnold. And let's not forget the importance of posing and presentation, and how that can affect an athlete's placing, and how that can create an amazing illusion of having a much better physique. And Logan is definitely one of the best posers in the entire pro league at the moment. So Logan in that Olympia top 6 this year, what do you guys think? Is that more realistic than Logan's own expectations? Next up, we have an update from Andrew Jaged. Looking all round and 3D, a little over 8 weeks out of this year's Mr. Olympia. So the man is in the US already, and this year, he hasn't been training with Chris Lewis, aka Psycho Fitness. Actually, he hasn't trained with him throughout this year, which simply means they are no longer working together. And even without Psycho's training, Andrew presented one of his best looks at this year's Arnold, Ohio, especially in terms of conditioning. The side shots on Andrew were looking so damn good, and that is that one area where he got the most critique, that he needs more thickness and density there. And that was the case up until the Olympia last year, because the side shots were the ones which massively improved from the Olympia to this year's Arnold, but still not good enough to challenge either Samson Dauda or Derek Lunsford. So afterwards, Andrew kind of dodged a bullet at the FIBO Germany this year. Now, I'm not saying he would not have won any other show if Sazan did beat him at that show. But had that been the case, first of all, his reputation would have taken a big hit. And second of all, his prep would have been extended, which isn't something that would have gone in Andrew's favor, because he needed some off time to detox, to recover. And we saw how he made the biggest leap in terms of his overall progress when he took a comparatively longer break, a longer off season, and a longer growth phase. Because the fact is, even now, he does need more mass, more muscle, and more thickness in the side shots and from the back too, especially if he wants to challenge the top 3 or the top 4 at the Olympia this year. And this off season that Andrew had after FIBO Germany, that has to be one of those longer ones. And for the very first time in his entire career, he's gonna be going for this year's Mr. Olympia without doing Texas Pro first in between, which only means one thing: his body this time is gonna be 100% fresh, and this is gonna be the perfect opportunity for him to peak 100% for the Olympia for the very first time in all of his 3 Olympia appearances. So when we talk about the potential Olympia title contenders, especially for this year, Nick and Andrew, they are the 2 names that come to mind who can 100% shock the entire bodybuilding world and win the whole damn thing this year if they bring their 100%. So it has been a while since Flex Lewis, the greatest Olympia in the 212, he posted anything regarding his training. So here we have a recent one. Now the irony is that Flex moved some monstrous amount of weights in the gym throughout his very long pro career, and he never had any sort of injury. And as soon as he retired, he started having all those problems, all those muscle tears, and doing very simple things like holding the door open and someone slamming the door, and Flex ended up with a bicep tear. So that was the first time he had a bicep tear. Now I have to say, watching guys like Hadi Chopin and Derek Lunsford winning the Olympia in the Men's Open, that must have made Flex regret his decision of staying in the 212 for such a long time when he had already established himself as the GOAT of that division. But that being said, in Flex's defense, even the guys in the Men's Open, they did not stand a chance against the greatest of all time, and that is Phil Heath, and that too in his prime. So even Flex and his coach Neil Hill, they admitted that the bodybuilding world that never got to see Flex at his all-time best because he was forced to lose so much muscle in order to get down to that 212 weight cap. And he did lose a lot of pop and fullness while doing that. So Flex is now eligible to do the Masters Olympia, as the man is now 41 years old. So it will be kind of cool to see if he steps on the stage one last time, but the likelihood of that happening is very little. Another day, another crazy update from one of the best from Brazil, Ramon Dino, about 8.5 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. So what do you guys think he weighs here? Rumor is that he's still about 15 pounds over his classic physique weight cap, which is kind of insane if you think about this, on how he's gonna make that weight cut off, because the man already looks so damn ripped. Now he has a superb coach in his corner, Chris Aceto, and he is one of the greatest gurus of all time. So just like every year, he's gonna somehow make him come down But we know that always comes at the expense of a bit of fullness and the pop. And he loses some muscle mass to get down to that weight cap, because there is simply no way around that. So the man right now is looking super lean and very round. And the great thing about this update is that he's posing extremely well and he's showcasing an amazing V-taper here. So let's hope one day we will see Ramon Dino in the men's open bodybuilding, because his physique, that is gonna look so much better if he allows it to grow. And I certainly think that Ramon can be a similar case as Stefan Matala, who we saw absolutely blew up the moment he started pushing the food. That being said, I'm gonna say this again. Ramon is being underestimated big time for this year's Mr. Olympia. And I certainly think that he can shock a lot of people by winning the whole damn thing this year. But let me know what you guys think. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.